Hello there, welcome to the first episode of Turning the Tables. We'll be playing as Castile, and we're trying to get one of the new achievements that has appeared in Conquest of Paradise. And I believe the way to do this is basically just build up our own power as much as possible by taking the areas over here. And the way to do this, I believe, is by offering an alliance to Aragon. We'll probably get a royal marriage. Hopefully we can, or probably, hopefully not, we can get the what's it called? The Iberian wedding event. We will be growing Castile pretty much, but we'll not be doing we'll not be dealing too much here. The Portugal is probably a balanced, and the Aragonese are diplomats, so that is fine. We'll probably conquer Portugal just to make sure that they don't actually can pose a threat to us when it comes to colonization. So we'll just go straight on it. We'll be saving up points, of course, trying to get ourselves that first idea that will allow us to start colonizing fairly soon. So we'll just get right onto it, and once we discover the Americas, we can decide on where we actually want to make things work here. But yeah, we'll definitely try and have good relations with Aragon. So apparently the good relations thing kind of went down the drain, but that is actually fine with me. Alliance from Navarra, I guess I can accept that, kind of a buffer zone. What we will be doing, however, is not ally Portugal, or rather we'll be fabricating claim on many of their provinces, and sooner or later go for war here. I guess we'll just start with Bragança, Beira, Anteo, and just make that work for us. I'm a little bit unsure. I might actually try and just get friendly with France for the time being. I will not be conquering much in Europe. I'll probably just try and make myself smaller than I already am. I could potentially ally Portugal for the beginning here, but I guess I'll just not do that. So yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how this turns out. Hopefully I can get alliance with France and thus keep Aragon in some extent in check. And England, to some extent, would also be someone we would like to ally ourselves with, but we are rivals. France actually rivaled us as well, so looking for allies could potentially send us all the way over here to Austria. But once again, we don't really want to be in Europe for too long. We'll probably be here for 50, most 100 years before we change to our colonial nation, so it's not really that important with building a powerful Castile, because we need a weak Castile once we actually go back and try to vassalize them. The smaller we are back then would definitely also be a benefit. But we will do the reconquest here, take Granada. But I guess that will be basically the limit of how much we'll actually do conquest. We'll probably do something against Portugal as well to make sure that they do not colonize. So all in all, we have plans here, but we'll basically just have to see how they turn out. And we want both of the current king and heir to die. 112 and 000 aren't actually that great of a stats, as you might imagine. So we'll go for killing off the heir first because of the horrible stats. And what we basically will do now is a waiting game. We'll be saving our points to get our first admin tech idea. We'll be taking aspiration ideas, and then we'll basically make sure that things continue on that note. We'll also, of course, sacrifice admin points into taking down Portugal as soon as we actually have the necessary first idea. So, with that in mind, we'll just get started and see how things turn out. Time for the reconquest war against Granada here. We have just declared it, and it shouldn't actually be that much problematic, as you can see. We have made that already work. So the war is virtually over. Nothing much else to say. All that remains is sieges. Portugal has allied England and Aragon though, so it could potentially be some very, troubling wars to come in the future. We have allied Austria though, so we aren't actually, we aren't left behind or in trouble. I can also, I believe, peacefully vassalize these guys, so I guess we'll just go straight away with that. Try and make that work. Did I just now send an insult instead of... No, I didn't, so... Why did it... Did I lose the alliance or something? So apparently Navarre became a vassal of Aragon instead, so that's why I lost everything, but heck, I don't care. And we have lost the point stability as well. But on the plus side, we are doing fairly well here. All that remains is to wait a little bit longer. Portugal hasn't reached admin level 4 either. I'm a little bit uncertain what they'll take first, but as long as they don't actually take exploration, I should be fairly safe. I think we'll take the Caribbean as our well, area where we will be creating our colonial nation, and we'll probably use that as a base operations. Go off the natives, try and take them as soon as possible. I'm a little bit unsure. I don't think I can actually vassalize them, which is kind of bad, and due to the fact that I won't actually be since I will be a colonial nation, I'll have to core everything there myself. I'm pretty sure there won't actually be any colonies that will be appearing, so that is, well, fine by my standards, but it will make things a little bit interesting. I haven't actually tried this before. I did try a scrambled map just to see how that will work with the colonial nation setting, but I have no idea how it will actually work when I take over myself, so it will definitely be an interesting experience or experiment. We'll see how it goes. There we go, the war against Granada is over, and we'll go for the full annexation. But as you can see, that will be fairly expensive on the diplomatic power scheme of things. But I could always just take the provinces one by one, and that would actually be far cheaper to some extent. So I guess we'll actually do this. We'll just take the provinces slowly but surely, one by one. We don't really have, once again, we don't really have anything that we need to speed about. So we'll set these guys as our rivals, and how expensive will it get now? 150 still. So we'll take one province every 5 years. I'm pretty sure no one else will actually take anything here, and I can also save a ton of diplomatic points that way, and thus get colonizing a lot quicker. So all in all, it's a win situation for me. Even though I should probably focus on trying to make things go a little bit faster. It's not that I can actually, well, deal with right now. So we'll just take one province at a time and make it work that way. We'll see how it goes. So, Enrique died, tragically. Let us pray for his soul and hope for a new heir. We have a new heir, Isabel. Unfortunately, she's not that much better, but she's better, so can't complain about that. 023, what we need is diplomatic points mostly, so that kind of sucks. I'm also kind of surprised that I was set as a rival by the Hawkiee here, because since I now have a female heir, we could potentially have gotten that union worked out, but nothing to do with that. I will also be saving up quite a bit of cash, and that has a very simple reasoning. That means that I can have more colonies running at the same time. It's actually quite slower now on the colonial front, so that'll be very interesting to see how that actually works out, and by that we'll have to see how it goes. But once I actually release my colonial nation, I'll definitely get some problems with both England and possibly Portugal as well. But I'm pretty sure that I will have bypass all the problems that I had as the Aztecs. I will be Western, I will be able to fight them, we'll have basically the same troops too. So as such, it won't really be a matter of that will cause any problems. But I'll stop talking and try and get the colonization going this episode. We'll see how it goes. Military tech 4 was reached here, Pike Square. Military tax was 0.25, land morale increased by half a point, and I can now build armories. I'm probably not going to do any of those. We're still a little while away from the points we need to get that first one. We're probably about a year away, so I'll just allow time to pass, and we'll see how it goes. So the Austrians actually want us to join them away. The potential is that Aragon can become war leader, and potentially then we could get Portugal into it as well. But once again, Portugal don't really have that many men, so we'll accept here, and hopefully then, if the Aragonese join in, we'll be able to crush them. But as it seems right now, it seems they have decided or opted out of the war, and as such, it's just we just have to worry about Venice, and that isn't really anything that we have to worry about. The Austrians will deal with this quite well, perfectly themselves. So all in all, this is probably not anything that we have to worry about at all. And the Austrians now like us plus 200. So the alliance is to some extent now set in stone, which also is a fairly positive thing for us to consider. We're also very close to that first idea set. We still need 300 more points before we can start finding our way to the Caribbean islands. But even so, I can say that we don't really have anything to worry about on that scale. We will get that first idea set now. The exploration ideas, I just had to check to be completely sure that I picked the right one. So, colonial ventures, we get a colonist, and once we get a quest for New World, we can start to consider moving our way over. And it's just the first one here that will be beneficial. We will not be playing long enough as Castile to benefit from the global settler increase plus 25%, unfortunately. So, with that said, we'll just get going and see how things turn out. There we go, I declared another core war on Granada, and the war is virtually done. They had about 6,000 troops, 6-7. So, it's not really that much of a problematic aspect here. I'll sacrifice those 50 admin points just to make sure that I have enough cash to have as many colonies as possible running. And we are very much closing in on the start of the, well, exploration. So, we'll just wait until that point, and then I'll get back to you. There we go, we've gotten the exploration idea quest for New World, which allows us to recruit explorers and conquistadors. And with that, we can now start the trip over to the Americas. And we got a guy here. Unfortunately, movement or maneuver, nothing. Shock 4. You are supposed to explore, not fight. So that kind of sucks, but nothing we can do with that. Another interesting thing that they've added here are trade winds. So as you can see here, this means that these things will actually decide how fast I can explore or when I actually have to turn around. So the best way would actually be to some extent going in a circle here, and we'll probably do that. Also, when it comes to the, I'll probably talk a little bit more about this once we actually get over there. But once it actually comes to the point where we can start, well, finding things, as it were, or we find the natives, I can potentially use the natives to my advantage, and in this manner it would be basically to use the how should I put this? If I annex the natives, basically, then I can, to some extent, get a colonial nation right away, which means that I can simply break free as soon as I've begun, more or less. And that is kind of tempting to do right now, but we'll have to see. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit unsure if that fleet will actually survive the trip home, but luckily it did, so that is fine. This is a simple way to actually make sure that you use your explorers to the full capacity, so to speak, by simply changing the ships. So while the other ships are being repaired, you are sending a new expedition, more or less. And once I find the natives, I'll probably use them to my advantage, as you know, by simply making deals with them. And discover a new world. On October 12, 1492, after 34 days out of sight of land, Christopher Columbus and his crew set foot on an island in the Bahamas, which Columbus named San Salvador. They had discovered a new world. Now so have we. So as you can see, this belongs to the Caribbean node. But if we do a little bit quick look here on the colonial regions, colonial Guyana, and we'll probably find some more as we continue here. So let's just keep on moving and see what we can find here. We're definitely on the right track here, and I might have to send my my ships back very soon. But for now, we'll just do a little bit more exploring. And then we found Panama. The what I'm actually showing you right now are trade. How should I put this? These are trade nodes, more or less. So when we go with the colonial map mode, we'll see more. But for now, I'll send my ships back home, and then we'll do a little bit more exploration afterwards. We'll see how it goes. Military tech fire has been reached, standardized pikes. And with that, we get an increase in combat width by 2, infantry shock by 0.15, and we can now utilize men-at-arms and longbow. We also ended up in an alliance with Portugal. I decided that since I'm basically going to change within, well, very soon, since we are basically already in a position here where we can find the natives, so I'll definitely be changing my. I'll most likely be changing my nation very soon, as I said here. But it seems like this isn't actually colonized. Then we found them, the Mayas. And what I'll do now, I think, is send over a ship here, or a squad of ships, get relations up, get military access, send over a transport fleet. I'm unsure if this will actually make its way home, but I don't need to. I have what I need here, the way to the Mayas, and that is basically it. I'll try to send this fleet home. I'm, as I say, kind of doubtful that I'll actually make the trip. We'll also then send, I guess, 10,000 troops to the New World. So I need to build a couple more cogs. And with that, we'll start basically get military access from everyone, do some exploration, and then create the then create the colonial nation. But unfortunately, I'll have to wait until next time. We are virtually done with this. We are basically now on the doorstep of the new world, and it will be interesting to see how it turns out. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, praise, criticism, anything you feel like, and I'll see you around next time. Bye.